Hello, viewers. This is Brian and Keith from Less Magic More Gathering here again.
Hello!
And we are on our installment number 6.
Volume 6.
Volume 6 of our Deck Tech random card draw.
Random Card Deck Tech Volume 6.
And the card that we randomly got selected was Rekindling Phoenix. And this is Keith's deck for the week, so I'm going to let him run with it. And there we go.
We'll get back to that. Normally I start out with the creatures. This time I'm going to start out with our spells.
Not the spells!
It'll help some of the other creature choices make a little bit more sense. At least one, at least one of them. All these spells are just your basic burn spells, trying to hit them in the face, hit your opponent in the face, or get something off the battlefield if you need to. So we ran 4 copies of Shock.
Do you want to tell them what you changed to? Remember we went with 3 different options?
Oh yeah, when we were building this, we ran through some ideas, like a red-green that we didn't talk about very much, a red-blue deck, which I actually built the red-blue and this solid red, mono red. So the red-blue is, I mean, it's a good deck too, and I'm gonna post a link
For both.
down here,
Down there somewhere.
right down there under the video, to the tapped out page where you can view both of these. If you have any questions, comments, things like that you want to add to the deck, feel free. Let us know on there, or you can let us know in the comments below. But I built the red-blue deck, and I built this mono red, and I just think this one played out a little bit better and worked better. So this is the one we're going to give for you guys. Like I said, if you want to see the red-blue, check out the link in the description, and you can go check that one out too. So 4 copies of Shock. That's just a quick one red, 2 damage to a creature or your opponent's ugly mug.
Everybody likes a shock.
We're doing 4 copies of a Braid, which is another multi-purpose burn spell. It does 3 damage to target creature, or you can destroy an artifact. So it kind of gives it multiple uses. There you go. 3 of those, or 4 of those, and 4 copies of Lightning Strike. All these, you'll notice, are kind of multi-purpose, and they're inexpensive, so that's going to be a key. So for 1 or 2 mana, you're doing 2 or 3 damage to a creature or the player. So if you're sitting with 2 of these in your hand and have 4 mana and nothing else to play, you can go 6 to the noggin, and that hurts.
6 to the old face.
All right, so that's 12 spells. That's, I mean, basic. That's what we went with. Now on to our creature base. Start off with the 1-drops here. This is what I was talking about would make a little more sense. Soulscar Mage, 1-drop, 1/2. It's got prowess, and all those burn spells, if you do them to a creature, instead of doing damage, are going to put -1/-1 counters on there, which is going to help get rid of your indestructibles. It's going to keep things, you know, just because you might not have a spell big enough to kill something, but if you can put -1/-1 counters on it, it keeps it small and manageable. So, I mean, it's a mono red aggro card. I think everybody plays that in their mono red decks. It's just a good card.
2 lightning strikes turns that Galta into a 6.
Yeah. Yep. Next, we got another 1-drop, 3 copies of Bloodlust Insider. Some of these spells that you'll see already have haste, and the other ones you're going to want to have haste because your opponent's going to want to get rid of it. So this is going to just make it so that when we get into some of these bigger creatures, that you can use them right away and not have to worry about sorcery speed removal and things like that.
Oh yeah.
Next 2-drop, I don't know if I said it, we had 2 copies of that, or 3 copies of the Bloodlust Insider. We've got 3 copies as well of the Wily Goblin. Wily Goblin's a 2-drop 1/1, but when it comes into the battlefield, you also get a treasure token. So a turn 3 Rekindling Phoenix, turn 4 Glory Bringer, turn 4, you know, if you cast 2 of these, you can do a Itali Primal Storm on turn 4, which is
stupid.
That hurts. Now, That's no good, especially if you've dropped the Bloodlust Insider on turn 1, go turn 4, Itali, swing with it, and start stealing your opponent's stuff. So that's why we went with the Wily Goblin. Just kind of helps us ramp a little bit into some of these bigger creatures. Next one, Tilonali's Summoner. This is an interesting card. It's a 2-drop 1/1. Whenever it attacks, you can pay 1 red and X, and you create X 1/1 red elemental creature tokens that are tapped and attacking with it. Now, if you've got the City's Blessing, you don't have to get rid of those. If you don't, you sacrifice them at the next end step. So, we were playing today. I was doing some testing with this, and I got this thing out there and used it to attack. I had 5 mana, nothing else in my hand that I could really play or that was going to be that important. So I created 4 additional tokens to go along with it. And on Brian's next turn, I kind of gave him a little razzing for it, but he used Vraska's Contempt to get rid of my Tilonali Summoner when there was other stuff on the board. But he was, and like I said, I gave him a little razzing for it, but it was probably the right play, because if I could do that every turn, create 4, 5, 6 tokens, that can get out of hand really fast. So even if it's just creating 1, you know, if you got these burn spells in your hand and you can empty your opponent's board and start creating additional tokens, it can add up really quickly. So, and with the Ascend portion on there, you don't have to be that far along to be able to create enough tokens to get yourself the City's Blessing.
Right.
So when you create those tokens, they're permanents on the battlefield, which as long as your total permanents add up to 10, you get the City's Blessing. You don't have to get rid of them at the end of the turn. So real fast math, if you've got 4 lands and that's 5, no, you wouldn't have enough. If you had 5 lands and that'd be 6, and you could create 4 tokens. So with nothing else on the field, 5 lands and you swing.
As soon as they hit,
create the tokens, you get the City's Blessing. You don't have to get rid of them at the end of turn. So it's a pretty good card. There's nothing else in here that deals with Ascend or the City's Blessing, but like I said, it's really easy to get the City's Blessing with that card. So next did I go over how many copies of that we ran?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
3 copies of the Tilonali Summoner.
3.
Next, we went with 4 copies of On-Crop Crasher. It's pretty decent aggro 3-drop. It's a 3-drop 3/2 with haste. You can exert it and make your opponent's creature not be able to block. So if you've got your summoner out there and you create some tokens with this on the field, exert it, something can't block, all those 1/1s go through and you don't have to worry about the summoner getting blocked to death, because the summoner is just a 1/1.
Yeah.
So, being able to kill their creatures off and then make some of them so they can't block is handy.
Handy dandy.
Another card that I think in a lot of your red aggro decks you might run into. So.
And it's not like a super effective card on its own. Obviously, it helps out in a lot of ways, but it's one of those that if it's out there, somebody's going to probably well, I don't like you, exerting and keeping my creatures from blocking. So they're going to waste kill spells or removal spells on it. Hopefully.
Yeah. The namesake of the deck, Rekindling Phoenix, 4 copies. We've went over it. When it dies, you get this here token that says at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice this creature, the token, and return Rekindling Phoenix to the battlefield, and it gains haste. So obviously that becomes a target for removal, and it has to be targeted twice. They have to target the Phoenix and the token, or this is going to come back on your next turn with haste, so you can swing with it every turn. That was a good card to pick, aside from the fact that I had to go out and buy one of them for $30. So it's
yeah, we're not going to
expensive.
talk about how many he got out of packs. I think we already addressed that one.
This isn't a budget deck for sure. Next, we've got 3 copies of Glorybringer. Everybody knows about Glorybringer by now.
Yes.
4/4 with haste. You exert it and deal 4 damage to target non-dragon creature an opponent controls. So it's pretty. 3 copies of that. Pretty straightforward. Probably don't need to talk too much about it.
Yeah.
And finally, before we go to the lands, 3 copies of Itali Primal Storm. This from the first time I started looking at card previews, what has been one of my favorite looking cards, and I just really couldn't find a good place for it, but it fits really well in this deck because of the, you know, the Wily Goblin being able to ramp you into it early, and then having some of this other stuff like the Rekindling Phoenix, the Uncrop Crasher, the Telenali Summoner, Glorybringer, all that stuff before you get Etali out is going to draw the removal spells out of your opponent's hands, so that hopefully when this hits the battlefield, they kind of just drop their head.
They crap their pants.
Oh man!
Oh, shit.
Should have saved one of those.
And don't forget it's a legendary creature, so you can't play two at the same time.
I do that. I do that frequently. So you get this out there. You give it haste if you got the ability to do that. And whenever it attacks each player, and if you're playing, you know, a one-on-one game, obviously you and your opponent both exile the top card. If you're playing a two-headed giant game, then all four players do. So everyone that you're playing against will exile the top card of their library, and if it's a non-land card, you can cast it for free. So
that's always fun.
You start doing that and getting some good results out of it, and it can be hard for your opponents to come back from. You know, you may, off the top of their deck, get a removal spell that you can use against them. You may get a good creature that you can put on the battlefield under your control. You may get an enchantment that's going to help you out. Who knows? But that lets you take their cards and play additional cards from your library too. Next, the land base. I just went real basic. I went with mountains. 22 mountains.
You didn't put any multicolors in there?
No.
You didn't need them?
No evolving wilds. 22 mountains. You could put in the Sun-Scorched Desert to do 1 point of damage to your opponent when it enters the battlefield, or some of the other deserts that you can sacrifice to create zombies. You could drop a few of those in there if you wanted, but 22 seemed, especially with having the Wily Goblin, it seemed to work out pretty well. I didn't have any issues with it. So that's the deck. If you want, that was pretty quick. Should we go over the additions if we do the blue, or just let them look it up?
You can. Well, how many different ones are there?
33 cards. Let's let them look it up.
Okay, sorry.
So if you want to see the red-blue version, that was the mono red. If you want to see the red-blue version, you can feel free to check out the link down below to the tapped out page and take a look. All right, now we got to select a new card. This is sideboard. Like I said last week, we're not going to do a specific sideboard for every deck. You know what you're playing against at your, events.
Or you know what's going to be hot, what you have to defend against, I guess.
So just make a good sideboard that's going to be able to help you out against the things you anticipate playing against.
Yeah, my take on these also, these deck techs and these random builds is like, you don't have to, if you want to use this, find this whole setup, that's fine. But just in generalities, like that Wily Goblin and the Etali Primal Storm, or any of those heavier like red creatures, you can set one of your decks up, revolve around that, and then build. Just be like 4 Wily Goblins, 4 Etalis, and go and see what happens, because that's really a huge, like, devastating thing. Like the round 4 and having turn 4 having Etali come out there, it's like, what just happened?
Yeah.
So I mean, if you want to plan around that and try to get that to work out better for you, then by all means run with those two specifics and then change it up any way you want. But this is just kind of what Keller and myself have gone over, and he mostly did a lot of the adjustments on the red. I didn't really help him a whole lot on that one, but
I mean, most of this is just so that you guys can get an idea, especially in like our brainstorming sessions, how you can build your own decks. If you want to use ours just the way they're built, feel free. If you beat somebody down with it, make sure you tell them where you saw it so they can come check out our channel.
Yep.
Are you ready?
That's my card. Cross my fingers for a non-Rivals Ixalan, which is fine, but let's something different and then something cool. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Hey,
Shadow
Ixalan.
Caravel.
Ooh, that's a vehicle. I like vehicles.
You do like vehicles.
This might be a fun week.
That's not bad. 2-drop Shadowed Caravel.
And it's
It's a 2/2. Whenever
Explore.
a creature you control
God.
explores, put a 1/1 counter on Shadowed Caravel.
I changed things up since we just had an Explore creature. Was it three weeks ago? It was 4 because I had mine last week, and the one before that was
Tomb Robber.
Tomb Robber. So, but we're not gonna change it. I'm gonna make something, or not me, but we're gonna brainstorm something. But we'll try to stray away from something we already did. We'll go a little bit different with this. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of Explore options out there. We don't have to do green and black. There's other ones. So
Yeah. I think every color has Explore, don't they?
some are minimal. There are some whites. There's some.
Are there reds?
I don't know if red does.
I don't know if
Red might be the
Might
only
go blue
one.
white or something since we
Yeah.
did green black before.
We'll see. We'll see what we got. But hey, so there's our card for our next random card deck build.
Shadowed Caravel.
Vehicles. Let's see. All right. Well, other than that, I guess.
Hit the comments below. Let us know what you'd change on the Rekindling Phoenix deck. There it is. Let us know what you'd do different.
What you
we
liked
missed.
about it.
I know we missed stuff.
We always
But,
miss stuff.
We're not professionals. Hey, we're getting close, folks. I think, 24 away?
Our
Might be closer.
subscribers.
Did it go up from 76 today?
Let's go look.
We'll do it right here on the camera. Come on, come on, come on, come on. It's like a drum roll. Did we go up? Whoa!
77 subscribers.
Okay, 23. The more the merrier. I know we've already asked plenty of times, but there's got to be groups of friends out there, people you haven't really kept in contact with, people maybe you do contact with, but maybe you haven't really brought it up, but tell them, hey, check this out, there's free stuff.
You can see our watch time and views are all up, so we appreciate that.
Oh, yeah.
Subscriber change is down, but that's just
on
because
percentages.
it's basing it off of 28-day periods, so that'll go up. Estimated revenue, nothing.
That's okay. We're still in process.
That's not why we're here. So we're here to help you guys out, learning to play Magic, learning how to build decks, and hopefully you enjoy our content. So
Yeah.
I guess we will check you out Monday with a brainstorming, and maybe I'll start trying to get some lunch Magic games posted again. I know I've been slacking off on that. So
Yeah, we're working that issue.
here's another part of our full table mat that you didn't get to see before. So
Okay, this is just part of it. We'll show you maybe a different part every time we do a new video.
yeah.
We got a big chunk on day one, and this is just a small chunk, but we'll get you some other looks. Deuces, y'all.
Deuces.
Oh, can you get it?